Senator Muse has been a member of the Senate since January 10th, 2007. He was formerly a member of the House of Delegates 1995 through 1999. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, a graduate of Morgan State University with a BA in History, Wesley Theological Seminary with a Master's of Divinity, Howard University Doctor of Ministry, Church and Community Development. He is the founder and senior pastor of Ark of Safety Christian Church in Upper Marlboro and married to Pat Lawson Muse, news anchor at NBC4. And then my little personal note, I'm sure he doesn't remember this, but when I first graduated from college, my parents owned a store in Upper Marlboro, Parcel Plus, out on Crane Highway. And I got a chance to design his business cards when I was recent college, because he used to come use for a customer in my parents' store. So I had the chance to meet you. So that was back in 1992. But again, thank you for your service to our community, and we welcome you to come up and speak now on behalf of the Senate. Thank you.
I want you to know I still have those business cards. Same designer. Let me say good morning. And thank you for allowing me to come. I wasn't certain of the format. I brought a bunch of stats and things with me just in case. But I did want to speak to some of the issues from the legislative perspective. Thank you again for inviting me in, and to your officers, and you got new officers as well who are coming in. And it's been a long time. Oh, thank you. This is going to be good. This will help me a lot. And your new officers who are coming in as well, and coming in at what is by far a very difficult time, not just in our county, but in our nation, period. Let me start off this way. In 1995, I was in the House of Delegates. I was on the Ways and Means Committee. We were going through much of what we're going through today, although not as intense. And in 1995, our budget in Annapolis for the state of Maryland our operating budget was $15 billion. Here we are in 2010, when I ended session in April. Between 1995, $15 billion, 2010, our operating budget is still $15 billion. We've gone up, we've gone down, and while everything else, has gone up 100, 200, 300-fold, we are now back at the same operating budget. After having gone way up, we're at the same operating budget in 2010 that we were when I was on the Ways and Means Committee in 1995. So it gives you a picture of what is available on the state level, looking at all of the needs that are out here. So we're not in the best situation. It's not been a great session. We're holding it together as best we can, and that's really about all that one can do. So I wanted to come to talk about some of the issues that we're facing, because some of our issues, whether you're a small business, medium-sized business, large business, there are things that we can do as we work together. And I'm sure you've heard from the governor, you've heard from everyone. I don't want to sit here and just reiterate everything that was said. I do want you to know that 4 years ago, I said to the chamber, and this is my commercial now. 4 years ago, I said to the chamber, I am a pro-business legislator. I understand what that means. I understand the implications of saying that. I also understand that, and that has positive implications, because I also understand that if businesses aren't surviving in any jurisdiction, in any county, then you're already operating, you're operating at a handicap. You just can't have a viable community if you don't have viable businesses. And so I understand that. I said 4 years ago that I will always have an open door, that we will not always agree on everything, but we will sit down and find compromises, look for ways to make things work. So I hope that at least down through the years, these 4 years, I've managed to at least live up to that. Because it is tough. With all of the voices out here, we are one jurisdiction, as you know, out of 24. We're one jurisdiction. And so it's difficult competing for funds. It's difficult when you're trying to get legislation passed. But nonetheless, it's possible, and we've done a lot. To create a good business climate, I want to begin rather than with legislation and telling you, what you already know, that good schools and transportation, and these are things you already know. That in order for businesses to survive, that crime, that crime, if this starts burning up, let me know. When I see smoke out of the side of my eye, my impulse is to just start running. So pardon me, all right. But it's cool. It's all right. But we know that low crime. We know that we have to have schools that are productive, and those are some of the things that we've looked at in Annapolis. And so, looking at your agenda, transportation, the Purple Line, and the ICC, all of which I agree with. Okay, let me just put that up front. I agree with it. We've tried to work on that. But let me rather start this way before I go into legislation. To give it's my personal assessment and a synoptical assessment of the business climate in Prince George's County. Because I think if you want to talk about where you're going, you have to be honest about where you are. You have to be honest about what's good. You have to be honest about what's not so good so that you can move forward. If I were to give and by the way, I am one of the leaders in the county, and so this is not finger pointing. It just is what it is. Can we agree to that? It's not, because if we just start finger pointing, then we'll just get mad at everybody, and that doesn't help anything at all. It doesn't help us because we need everyone around the table. So I believe that everyone is doing the best that they can with what they have to create, and this is what we're talking about, to create a positive business climate where businesses can prosper in our county. That's what we're talking about. So let me be real honest. If I had to give our county a grade, I would give us somewhere between a C- and a D. That's my assessment. And I say that because of the following. One, let's talk about attracting businesses to the county. And to do so, you always have to look around and compare yourself to others. I know people don't like to do that, but you know what? If something is working somewhere else, I'm not going to recreate the wheel. I want to know how we can improve it and make it work here. So when you look at places like Northern Virginia, you look at Montgomery County, when you look at those places, when there's an opportunity for a business to locate there, they go after it as if their lives depended on it. Would you agree with that? And when you look at they go after it as if their economic lives, and in some sense they are right, as if their economic lives actually depend on getting this one business to locate in our county. People who don't like each other sit in the same room and try to figure out what we can do to get these businesses to locate here. On the other hand, I have a small business that we've just dealt with, and their office was in Georgetown for about 18 years. They wanted to locate to Prince George's County. Some of the bureaucracy we have to look at, not people, but bureaucracy and how we can make that work. When in locating here, sitting down with officials day after day after day, and we all know that time is money, right? When your business, time is money, right? Sitting down and at the end of the day, had to spend $300,000, it's an IT company, by the way, had to spend $300,000 of its own money with no help, no assistance from either the county or the state so that we can get that business to locate here. So when it comes to going after businesses and maintaining businesses, was it the Disney Channel, and when they talked about Radio 1 possibly moving, everybody should have converged to make sure that those jobs stay here. In my community, I have Rosecroft. And politics aside, no matter what people think about Rosecroft, here's what I'm thinking about. I got 200 jobs that's about to leave this county. And we've got to do something to save those jobs. And I'm open to suggestions, but if you have none, I'm going with it. As you know, and the criticism aside, the goal was to save those 200 jobs and to make sure that the 200 jobs will turn into 600 jobs with what we could have had coming into our county relative to Rosecroft. So that's one.